Glad you could join me. I hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to be making a stand for this Dragon's Head Fireside set that I've been making. So I've got to make this stand for them all to sit on so they look pretty and there's somewhere to keep them by the side of your fire. There's sort of two different ways that you can do a stand. The one that is sort of quite common is that you hang your tools on. So you try and hang your tools over a hook and then they're left dangling in the air. However, because of the way that I do my swan neck on the top of the animal head, it's very tight, so you can't actually hang them on anything because there's no loop or anything like that at the top. So that means that we have to create a stand that they rest on. So they sort of rest on a little bar there and then on a bar at the bottom. Again, this stand is heavily influenced by the one that I used to make with Bill Carter at Trap Forge, as he would always do his ram's heads with a really tight swan neck, and obviously the ram is then what I've taken as my inspiration into all of these other animal heads that I now make. So like this dragon, it has a very tight swan neck, as Bill's did, and so he came up with this stand for these Fireside tools. Anyway, I'm babbling on. Let's just get straight into the video and you can see how I make one of these stands. So there's only two forged components on this stand. One is a scroll on the back, which is sort of the main stability at the back of the stand. And then the other one is a little ring which holds the brush, as the brush of course can't sit on the bottom rail because it's a brush. So it needs a little ring which goes underneath the wooden part of the brush to hold it up. I'll start forging on the scroll first and then move on to the ring. Now I've got this taper on the piece, I can begin to forge the actual scroll. So I'll scroll it up over the anvil like that. That'll do for the scroll. You can see it does have a bit more of a gradual bend into it coming in, so it's got a bit more length to it. The main cross piece, which is out of angle iron, is going to sit here perpendicular to this scroll piece, which is what gives it the actual support. And the scroll is really just for decoration, but it does make quite a nice shape for the support at the back, rather than it just being, you know, a piece of steel. I've got a little piece of 6mm round for this loop. Make sure it's actually in the tongues, and I'll flatten the end. And then scroll it up a little bit. I'll do the same to the other side. You can take two pairs of scrolling tongs, try and bend it up into a circle. I say a circle, it doesn't want to be a circle. It wants to be like a half circle as we've got it at the moment, so you can actually slide the brush in. And the scrolls as well aid in that. The scrolls turning out mean that you can easily just slide the brush into there. Here are all of the fire tools that I've made in the previous videos. The scroll is all done, and that's going to sit going backwards. So imagine that going into the table. There's then a piece of angle iron, which is going to come along the back, which I need to cut. There's then a piece of 25x5, which goes along the top, which I need to cut. And then a piece which sort of bends, joining the two together. Also the U shape, I'll show you how that's going to go. That's going to sit there on the underside of the wood of the brush. Because obviously this stand, they all sit on the angle iron, but if we sit the brush on the angle iron, it's just going to mess up the bristles. So it needs a little support, which just goes under the wood there. I need to weld a piece on the back of this, just a stem on the back, which then gets riveted on to the angle iron base. I've got a few pieces of steel to cut up. I'll do all that now, and then we can begin to drill some holes and put it all together. I've cut these two pieces, but they're a bit rough. I want to round these corners over so they're not quite so square, not quite so sharp on the corners. It's all nice and rounded, and that way they're obviously going to be much safer, but I think it looks a bit better as well. There we are, we got some nice rounded edges over on these two pieces. I just did it with a grinder, nothing fancy. I'll do some marking out on them, as this one has got a lot of holes drilled, so there'll be one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and then I cut those holes out so they're now a U shape, which then lets us rest the actual fire tools into those slots. So that's how they actually rest, that's how they're located on the stand. So I've got a bit of marking out, drilling to do on that. It then has two holes drilled in the center, which is then where the top piece screws on. There's then two holes also being drilled in the center here, which is where that same piece then comes down and screws on through there. I do it so that the stand screws together with these little M5 screws, and that way I can sort of flat pack them, because obviously I send these in the post, and the stand is a bit of an annoying thing to try send all riveted together. It looks better when it's riveted together, but it's sort of not feasible to then send it in the post. So I just do some threaded holes and screw it together with these. I marked on here where the actual stems of the fire tools are going to go. I'll just mark the middle of this one, and then I can center punch them all and drill the holes. These two holes are going to be clearance holes for the screw to go through, and then the piece which is going to come underneath this, the screws are going to screw in, so there'll be a thread in that other piece. This one is just a clearance hole. So I've got a 5.5mm drill in the chuck, so that I can use that drill to drill a hole which we can use as a clearance hole for M5 thread. I'm also going to drill all of these holes with this same drill whilst it's in the chuck as a pilot, and then go through those holes with a 12.5mm drill, so that then we're going to have enough clearance for the 12mm bar on the actual fire tools themselves. I'll also drill these two as clearance holes with the 5.5mm drill bit as well. I'll just deburr these clearance holes with a center punch. A countersink. Just a slight deburr. You know, I'm not actually countersinking the hole. So that piece is done for now. We can leave that there. I've just got to drill these 5 holes to 12.5mm. I'll just take a cutting disc in a grinder and carefully cut either side of these holes to open them out. That's this piece done for now, ready to be screwed on to the bottom support, which is what I'm going to move on to and make now. I've got a piece of 25x5 for this piece, and it needs to have sort of a shape like this. The bottom is going to get screwed on through there, and then this piece wants to bend up and around to then have that second piece, which we just made up with all those holes in, to be screwed on there. The scroll then comes off the back here Comes off the back of there, like that. I'm just going to use the forks to bend this up, and I'm going to do it cold, as there's no need really to do this hot. You can bend 25x5 cold very easily. This piece creates the angle at which the angle iron actually sits, if you know what I mean. Because if we imagine that that side there of the anvil, that's going to be the floor, if you imagine. So you can see that that is then creating the angle at which the angle iron is going to sit, so that the tools sit nicely in the actual V of the angle iron. If we look at this as well now with the scroll, you can see where the scroll is going to go. So it rests on, imagine that being the floor. Hopefully you can sort of see what's going on. I'm going to clamp these two pieces together so I can then drill a little 4.5mm hole through the middle, rivet these two together, and then drill two holes down here where we can then thread them so that we can screw the bottom piece onto this support piece. And I'm going to do that now whilst I've still got these nice handleable lengths, as then I can screw it all together and cut these flush with the bottom of the base. I've drilled the hole to rivet them. I've just got a little piece of 4mm round bar, and just be careful. Try to section off my material on both sides so I get even rivet heads forming. That rivet is really just to hold these two pieces together, because obviously they can still spin on one rivet, but we need to now drill two holes down here. I've got my two holes drilled, and I'm now going to go through them with a little just M5 thread, so that then we can actually thread those screws in and, I suppose, screw the stand together. I'll screw this angle iron piece on, and then I can cut these two, the scrolled piece and this support piece, to length so that they're flush with the bottom of this angle iron piece. I'll drill and tap two more holes in the top here so we can actually screw that top piece on. And then we're almost there, really. We've just got to sort out the brush holder. I think that's it. We're very nearly there now. I just need to weld this little stem onto here, and then weld that in turn onto the stand so that the brush will actually go on there. Because you see at the moment it's resting on the bristles, which over time will just destroy the end of the brush. So it needs just a little holder to go under there to hold it up off the bottom rail. I've got that piece welded on, and I've taken the stand apart, as I'm going to be doing a hot oil finish on it so that it matches all of the finish that I've done on the Fireside tools as well. So I'm going to be heating them up in the fire and then just brushing them down with an oily rag to burn the oil on, giving it a nice darkened look. Also, because I've welded this on, I've then ground the welds back so they're nice and neat, but that means that it's revealed a polished finish, so I'll have to get that bit up to like a red heat to get scale forming, and then it'll match again the finish of the rest of the piece. So there we are, it's all done. You can see the finished, completed Fireside set there with all of the tools on, the tongs, and then, of course, the stand. If you want to watch me make any of the other stuff, I'll link all of the videos at the end, because I've obviously have the poker shovel brush and the tongs. I've made those in other videos, so if you want to go watch those, you can. But hopefully you can see the overall effect of the stand there. And I do like it how they, because of that tight swan neck, you can't hang them. So this is what Bill came up with when he was designing one of these Fireside sets years ago. And I think it works for what it is. The only trouble is the brush, but then you have to just make a little little holder for the brush to sit on. In other news, the Viking Longship is hopefully going to be done soon. I've had loads of shields in from all of you people, so hopefully we are going to get enough to actually put on the ship. I may end up making 1 or 2 more myself, but thank you for everybody who's got involved with this. It's been amazing, and it's actually sort of, you know, having all of you people send something to me so I can see it. You know, it gives all of you a bit of humanity, as I said before, rather than just being, you know, a written comment on a video. You're now something real in a way. I know it might sound silly, but you know, I've then got these shields that all you people have been sending in to me, and seeing your work and all of these notes that you've all been sending me. It's very, very I don't know, humbling or I don't know. I'm just very happy that all of you have got involved in it, and I think it is going to be very special once we've completely finished this Viking Longship. That's about it for this video. Hopefully you're all excited for the finale of the Viking Longship, which is going to be out very soon, and I'll see you on that video.